Hello, everybody, and welcome to another great episode of the Gridiron Glory podcast here with Tad and Will. We're here to bring you all things Commanders versus Buccaneers that took place in the NFC wildcard matchup on Super Wildcard weekend. This was the Sunday Night Football matchup on NBC. It was a hyped matchup. You got Baker Mayfield, the seasoned veteran Tad at this point, and the reigning Heisman Trophy winner, Jaden Daniels, the rookie quarterback out of LSU, who 24-35, 268 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interception. Tad, I would say the offensive line did a tremendous job in this game, only allowing the 1 sack. And Tad, Austin Eckler, 8 carries for 27 yards. Tad, I would like to personally ask you really quick, yes, where would you rank Austin Eckler amongst running backs in the league, the 8th-year pro out of Western Call?
Yeah, Austin Eckler, he's definitely for running backs a seasoned veteran at this stage of his career as well. The running back there, he's not what he once was in his prime, where he was certainly one of the best running backs in the league. That is no longer the case anymore, unfortunately for him. But he still is able to go in and compete at a high level. He can still produce. But yeah, he's a good piece. But make no mistake, this game was won by Jaden Daniels. The run game for the Commanders, they couldn't get going, only 2.5 yards per carry, but that didn't matter because the rookie quarterback Jaden Daniels, he put the team on his shoulder and he sort of carried them to a victory. A rookie quarterback with a legacy drive in the playoffs, his first ever playoff start is um absolutely incredible. To get there, to get down the field, to give your kicker Zane Gonzalez a chance to win the game. He goes 3 for 3, makes a 52-yard field goal, his long, and that's the story of how the Commanders they walk into Tampa, Florida, and they knock off the Buccaneers.
Yeah, they walk into Tampa. They knock off the Buccaneers. Tad, you and me did preseason research on all 32 teams quite literally before the start of the season. We studied all 32 teams, our brand here at the Gridiron Glory. And Tad, when we were studying the Commanders, I specifically remember we just were talking about how this year was about developing Jaden Daniels, and we didn't really expect more than 5 to 6, maybe 7 wins at best. Tad, they are 12-5. They're in the divisional round of the playoffs.
I mean, I'd say out of the 8 teams that are in the divisional round, the Commanders are by far the most surprising out of those 8 teams to still be playing, to still be competing for the Super Bowl trophy. Um, just incredible what they've done, what their defense has done, what Jaden Daniels has done. We haven't talked about their defense. I mean, Bobby
No,
Wagner, incredible game, 8 tackles,
yes.
one quarterback hit.
I was also going to say really quick that Dan Quinn, their head coach, is a major part of this as well. Sorry.
Certainly, yes. Dan Quinn, he's been incredible. He's pushed all the right buttons, great formations, great calls, very good understanding of the game. And looking a little more at the defense, one huge matchup was of course the seasoned rivalry between a pair of seasoned veterans with Marshawn Lattimore and Mike Evans. It was sort of up and down between those two in this matchup. Mike Evans certainly cooked Marshawn Lattimore in the first half, but after halftime, it was much more of a quiet game for Mike Evans. So it wasn't all Lattimore. There was some changes in coverage schemes. Again, as you said, credit to Mr. Quinn there as well as their defensive staff. But just what was your take on that whole dynamic between Lattimore and Evans?
Yeah, Tad. I mean, these two go back. I mean, they used to play in the NFC. They used to see each other more back
Yeah.
in the day in the NFC South, so they're very familiar with each other. Um, And I mean, it's like old times when these two go up against each other, right? I mean, this is what you play football for. You have a star prolific player like Mike Evans, but then I mean, and it's just kind of like that in all dynamics of sports, really. These star prolific players, but once in a while you'll have a great player that can quote unquote rival them. So it's just fun to see sometimes.
Certainly fun to see at times. So yeah, a big win there
It
for
can
the
get intense
Commanders.
and has gotten intense between those two. But I feel like as they've gotten older, they just focus some more. I mean, obviously they're going to play clean, good, hard football against each other, but it definitely doesn't get to the level where it's gotten back in the day for those two.
Definitely not to the same level, especially in a high-profile game like this.
They definitely have a
Yeah,
lot more respect for each other.
a lot of respect. And yeah, just a huge win for the Commanders to get momentum, and now they'll be going into Detroit to take on the top seed in the NFC. What can the Commanders do if they want to hope to beat the Lions?
Yeah, the Commanders, if they want to hope to beat the Lions, to me, Tad, I mean, it's going to be tough. You don't certainly expect, yeah, Detroit's first time ever in franchise history hosting a one seed playoff game. Um, to lose there, but Jaden Daniels would literally have to play the best football game of his entire life.
Jaden Daniels would have to play his best game. They'd probably need some turnovers from their defense. Maybe a defensive touchdown even would help. Just make all your plays, execute. Don't leave anything to chance. Just the Lions, you know what the Lions do. So just completely show up. Like you said, Jaden Daniels has to be a master both with his arm and with his legs. So yeah, it won't be an easy task. Um,
Yeah,
so shifting gears here a bit to
I would
look at
almost hate to say it, but unless they prove me wrong, that is a buzzsaw matchup for. I'm
yeah,
sorry, I don't mean to be brutally honest, but that is a buzzsaw matchup for the Commanders. It's like you got this playoff win, that's great, but I feel like you're walking into a buzzsaw in Detroit unless you prove
for
me
sure.
otherwise. It's the
We'll see.
NFL, and anything can happen. But I would call this a quote buzzsaw matchup. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so looking a bit at Tampa Bay and what this means for them as we go into their future. Yeah, you got Baker Mayfield, your quarterback. You got an up and coming receiver in Jalen McMillan. Of course the veterans Evans, and you hope to get Godwin back from his big injury that he suffered. So a lot of decisions there. You got the rookie Bucky Irving, who's been elevated to the starting running back. You have a fairly strong offensive line. What do you got to do here with this Tampa Bay team to stay relevant?
Well, it's had, I'm just so happy, first of all, that my prediction did come true on them to win the NFC South division. When we were discussing and researching the NFC South division, I just want to firmly state that, and congrats to them. And it was a tough loss. You get the doinked field, a literal doink. You see the doinked field goal go in, and you don't go to overtime. That's it, season over. Just a brutal ending to their season, emotionally speaking, while they were
Yeah,
watching that from the sideline. Um, so with that being said, yeah, Bucky Irving, he's a guy, that's going to be able to improve next year. Jalen McMillan, K. Dotton, obviously. Honestly, Tad, maybe. I mean, this is a pretty will belt team, but um, maybe go out there and find a placeholder for Lavonte David's spot one day. There you go. Maybe do that in the draft.
yeah, you can certainly look for a replacement
Because
placeholder
Lavonte
there.
David not getting any younger. Maybe go out there and find the
Certainly
next like
getting younger.
goofy.
Perhaps improve the defensive secondary a bit. Yeah, a lot of big decisions there.
So yeah, I mean Tampa Bay, they'll be back. I feel like they could. I'll early say that they could win the division again. So there you have it.
Yeah, they'll probably be the favorites, but yeah, a lot of big decisions there, and I think they'll have a good chance to regroup in the offseason.
Dad, tell our folks what's up next week. Finish it off. Take it home.
Yeah, next week, of course, we'll have a lot of quality divisional round coverage, including all our great playoff games, and special coverage of the Baltimore Ravens and Buffalo Bills. So yeah, thank you all for watching. Please continue to like, subscribe, and follow as we move into the playoffs. Thanks for watching.